Okay, nerds, you ready? Check this out. I'm about to create a whole week of viral ready posts in just a few minutes. This isn't theory. This is an actual machine I built inside n8n, and you can build it too. The crazy part is it works off nothing more than a simple prompt and a couple nodes you can set up with no code. Most business owners know they should be posting on social media every day, but let's be honest, most don't. You run out of ideas by Wednesday, writing threads stealing time from actual revenue driving work, and posting something that gets 3 likes feels like shouting into the void. Meanwhile, your competitors, with half your experience, are winning attention simply because they show up consistently and you don't. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your own viral tweet generator inside n8n. A system that takes your niche, turns it into dozens of high-quality tweet ideas, scores them for hook strength, and sends the best ones straight to your content board or scheduler. No more blank page, no more forcing inspiration, just a repeatable machine that creates content on demand. Before we jump in, if you're interested in mastering n8n or having me build a custom automation for your business, hit the link below and set up a free one-on-one call with me to discover the possibilities. Now, let's get dangerous. So to start us off, we are going to hit create workflow here. And what we're going to do is pretty simple. Let's start off with a schedule trigger. We'll set it to fire every other day, let's say. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Yeah, then what the heck, let's make it 3 days a week. So we'll make it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And we want to trigger it at, I don't know, we'll say 9 a.m. You could really do it any time of day you want. You could even, trigger it at minute 3 if you really want to. In fact, let's keep it that way on 9:03, because a lot more people are going to be posting at 9 than 9:03, which means you're going to have less competition. So let's go that route. Now we're going to go directly into an AI agent. Now don't worry, AI agents really aren't that complicated. We've done a tutorial previously that is specifically dedicated to those. If you want to check that out, it's earlier in my Den tutorials playlist on my channel. For now, let's pop open Cider. And what we're going to have Cider do is it's going to write our system prompt for us. Normally, I just go ahead and have ChatGPT open a separate window to do it, but it's easier to just have Cider do it because it's a built-in sidebar on Google Chrome. It's specifically made to help you save time with, context switching, things like that. Now, the thing I love about using AI to write the system prompt for another AI agent is that it knows what to ask the AI to do. You'll notice when you build your first 1 or 2 AI agents, sometimes it's hard to be specific and you end up giving it these vague instructions like, oh, you're a viral tweet generator, write me some tweets. No, it needs to know specific things. Engagement strategies, what niche you're in, what hashtags to use. It also needs to know the character limit as well. But you as the creator of the AI agent aren't always going to be thinking about those kind of things. So a lot of times it's easier just to have the AI do it. Now this is actually going to be the first of 2 AI agents in our system, and the purpose of that is merely to make sure it has a different thing to say every time, so that way we're not too worried about it coming out sounding the same or being about the same topic every single time. It can have a little bit of organicness to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to build an AI news research agent first, and then it's going to send its trend research report to the AI agent that actually ends up writing the tweet. I'm building a pair of AI agents to write some viral tweets for an X account I'm setting up for my AI automation agency. First of all, could you write the system prompt for a trend/news research agent? That's going to be the first one that we're going to build. And, since it sends the research report directly to the brainstorm, writer agent, I don't really think we're going to need to separate the output into, different parts in like a JSON body or anything like that. It can be plain text, that's fine. What's really important is just that it scans a wide variety of sources to find the most trending and most up-to-date information in the AI automation space, is specific about the numbers, and again that it pulls from a wide variety of sources such as, the LLM companies themselves, OpenAI, Claude, Google Gemini, etc., as well as, the big AI agency owners in the industry, Liam Otley, Nate Herc, people like that. And there you go. I'm not a huge fan of Cider AI's speech-to-text input method because, as you can see, they capture filler words. I really don't think it's that useful because that's just going to burn up credits in the system. In comparison, OpenAI's Whisper model for their dictate feature, same thing, you just hit a button, talk into the microphone, and that becomes your prompt. That's quite nice because, it is prone to getting some of your names wrong sometimes if it hasn't heard them before, but that mostly only happens if you're doing something creative and, you're making up names for your own characters that it's never heard of before. It's pretty good with names that it could reasonably be expected to have heard before. And of course, it's great with, normal English, as well as it's quite intelligent at picking out the filler words, which we see here that Cider AI doesn't do. Little bit of a nitpick. Either way, I really, really like that Cider is starting to do this, because one of the telltale signs of the most successful people who use AI is they always use voice to text because it's faster than typing. And, people like being time efficient. Right. I probably should have said, actually, we are gonna go ahead and plug in our chat model. This is pretty easy to set up. You just go to platform.openai.com and you just log in with your normal ChatGPT account. And there we have it. We're logged in on our ChatGPT account. Perfect. And now we want to go to our dashboard. You can see API keys down here. That's what we need to authenticate stuff. And we're going to create a new secret key. I'm not going to do that just for this tutorial because you can see we've got quite a few here that we can just go ahead and pick from. And it's already hooked up to one of them here. Now, typically, I really like GPT-5 Nano. It's good at combining the strengths of GPT-5 with a smaller version of itself, so it's more cost efficient, which is very important. So I tend to use it for a lot of tasks. Typically, you want a more intelligent model for a research agent. We're not too worried about that because you can see here, Perplexity is very well known for building intelligent LLMs that are good for research uses. And you'll see if you attach them as a tool rather than as the chat model that powers the AI agent, then you'll have access to their live web search capabilities. Depending on how you attach them as a chat model, it might inhibit their ability to search the web live, which can obviously make their output a little bit dumber. So we're going to go ahead and pop this open, authenticate it, and we're going to create a new credential just for this. Perplexity.ai is where we want to go to. and you'll see under account here, we want to go to API. Now we actually want to scroll down here and go to API keys, accept terms and generate API key. We're going to hit that. I'm just going to say YouTube tutorial. Awesome. Now let's copy that and go and take it to n8n. Very important to remember, most platforms will never let you see the full text of the API key or copy it except for one time when you create it. You can see Perplexity actually lets you do that. I've never seen any other API key provider do that. They're fairly serious security risks, so it's important to always make sure you handle them with care and keep them in a dedicated API key manager. If it's just in some Google Doc floating somewhere in the cloud or something like that, somebody's going to find it. And you're not going to want that to happen, because that means they're going to be able to use those systems and do it on your dime, and that's not good. So let's paste the API key in here. We're going to rename this to YouTube tutorial. Good, let's hit save. Now these are the different Perplexity models you can message. Sonar Deep Research, I've found, is their best one for research, but it's pretty expensive. So I'm just gonna use Sonar Reasoning, and we'll let the model decide what the message is. Okay, and now we are about ready to go back to Cider and have it modify our system prompt. So we'll say this. Actually, it does have a tool that enables live web search capabilities. The tool is called Message a Model in Perplexity, and it lets the AI agent define the message that will be sent to the model. It uses Sonar Reasoning as the model of choice. So can you modify the prompt to make sure it is aware of what the tool does and how to use it? And here we go. Absolutely. I'll adjust the Trend News Research Agent prompt to specifically account for a live web search capability by the Perplexity Message a Model tool. Okay, let's go ahead and, in fact, let's copy this output. I always like hitting this button versus, just highlighting it and hitting copy like that, because doing it like this is sure to preserve all of its markdown formatting, which is awesome. Now under options, we're going to hit system message. Now the AI agent consults the system prompt or the system message every single time it gets called to do a task. So this is very handy for the AI agent's core identity, core instructions and tasks and things like that. And we are just going to paste everything. Okay, let's cut the last part. Okay, and define below, we'll just put a space in there because, really all it needs to know is just in here. Oh, I should say for an AI automation agency called Blackfish AI. Okay, perfect. Now let's hit save and test our research agent real quick. Okay, and we see it just finished up. Let's check out what it wrote for us. Did I just timestamp? Oh, I like that. Headline summary: Enterprise AI automation surges as agentic workflows and RAG become core strategies. A cluster of near-term reports from November 23rd show rapid adoption of AI agents, agentic workflows, RAG architectures, and AI-ready ERP ecosystems in enterprise automations. Okay, I wish it, named the companies, but, it's all right for prototype. 78% of organizations using AI in at least one function, 92% of Fortune 500 using ChatGPT. Interesting. Okay, I like this. I take back that whole, specific thing. This is good. I like this. Okay, we've now got the Trend and News Research Agent working, and I'd like to use the research report now to feed the tweet generator AI agent. It should pick out the stat that it was most surprised by or is most likely to create, some kind of emotional reaction or possibly provide some value to our target audience, which is small business owners, and it should include no more than 2 hashtags. Other than that, the output can be plain text. It cannot include any introduction text or closing text before or after the tweet. It has to just be the tweet. And of course, it has to be viral ready, optimized for SEO, discoverability, and things like that. Oh, I didn't ask it to write the system prompt. Write the system prompt. See, this is why I use speech to text. This is so much slower. Write the system prompt for the tweet writer agent. Bam. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and copy this. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna have another AI agent. Let's call this one tweet writer. Source for prompt. It defaults to a connected chat trigger node, which is absolutely something you want to do if you're building an AI agent for the purposes of direct interaction with a human user. In this case, we're going to use define below because the entire message is just going to be the output of our last AI agent. Perfect. And then we'll go to options, system message, and there we go. And we can cut out that introduction text. In fact, let's go ahead and pin this data. That way, when we do a test execution, it's just going to use this output instead of creating a new one. That's a good way to avoid, extra API costs when you're testing, which is very, very important. Now let's go back to the tweet writer. Yeah, everything here is set up right, so let's connect our chat model. Oh, I forgot. Awesome. Can you recommend a chat model available through OpenRouter that is optimized for the creative writing and SEO type of tasks that we need for social media content? Chat model that blends strong creative generation with good handling of prompt style and topical relevancy. GPT-4o, GPT-4. Okay. Claude 3 and 4. Strong at long-form coherence, careful handling of prompts, and nuanced tone control. Can be effective for developing multiple tweet variants and thread ideas with SEO-minded edits. Open router. And setting up this credential isn't that hard. It's just like the others. If we go to openrouter.ai, okay, perfect. And once you're signed in on openrouter.ai, we can go straight to our keys. And it's just like the other chat models. Go up here, create API key, relays, SAO, step fun. I haven't even heard of half of these. XAI, look at that, we've got all the Grok models in here, we've got the Claude models in here, Alien AI, Alibaba, I'm pretty sure Gemini's in here too, isn't it? Yeah, all the Gemini models are in here. OpenRouter's really, really flexible, so this is kind of my go-to choice if I don't have a specific chat model that I want to power our AI system. Now for this, we are going to use GPT-4o Mini as per Cider's recommendation. We don't need it to have any fancy tools or anything. Let's hit save, and we'll go ahead and hit execute workflow. And let's have a look at this. 62% of organizations are experimenting with AI agents, signaling a major shift in automation strategies. Are you ready to scale your business efficiency with AI? Hashtag AI, hashtag automation. Okay, interesting. So here's the technicality bit from Twitter. You can see that we've got a create tweet node here in n8n. but setting it up takes a while because you need to get approved by X, and you also need to have an X developer account, and all these sorts of things. So what we're gonna do instead, just for purposes of this tutorial, is we're going to log the tweet in a Google Sheet, and we just want to append row. Now, Google nodes are kind of interesting because you need a specific Google Cloud project set up in the Google Cloud console, and then create client credentials. It can be a little complicated, but don't worry, there are dedicated tutorials just for that out there if you need it. And as you can see, we have this Google Sheet ready to store our viral ready tweets. Here we go. Something handy you'll see a lot of times in n8n when you're setting something up is when you're having it point to something external, in this case a Google Sheet, sometimes you'll see this little icon on the right of the drop-down. That will actually let you go to whatever it thinks you are pointing to. So that's, that's good for troubleshooting or, double checking that you have the right thing. So in this case, let's go ahead and put readable date in there, and we'll do the output of the tweet writer in there. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and pin this output as well, save, and we're going to execute the workflow one more time, and bam, look at that. The append row node fired, so let's take a look at our Google Sheet. And let's go ahead and clean this up just a little bit so it's more readable. And there we go. Look at that, guys. And there we go, guys. Step by step, we have created our viral tweet generator in n8n. You can see there's not really that much to it. It's mostly just a matter of knowing which node you need. A lot of times for more complicated projects, I tend to use ChatGPT or something of that nature as a setup assistant, because you will see we do also have a node that runs custom code available for us here on n8n. You don't really need that on, something this small, but on the larger automations, the ability to transform the data at any point and in any way you want is really gonna save your butt. And ChatGPT's great at writing those code nodes. It also sets up custom HTTP requests for me whenever I need those to happen. So yeah, it's an invaluable building assistant when you do need those sorts of things. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If this brought value to you and your business, or if you're interested in mastering n8n or having me build a custom automation for your business, hit the link below and set up a free one-on-one call with me to discover the possibilities. And with that, be sure to leave a like, share your thoughts with the class, and before you subscribe, make sure you know what you're doing, because it ain't easy being at the top. I'll see you guys next time.